Forget the tourist, forget the tourist trot spot. Can't speak. Forget the usual tourist spots. Maryland has some serious hidden gems here. I mean, that I think you need to know, from haunted bridges to underground waterfalls. These things are off the beaten path, and there's locations that are going to blow your mind. So let's get ready for a road trip through Maryland, and I'm going to tell you some of the biggest secrets here. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button for this and all the other great videos. Hit that notification bell, and we're going to get rolling. Well, howdy, I'm John Ruckman, and here today I'm going to discuss the top hidden gems of Maryland that I think you're going to want to know about, and that way, wherever you're coming from, you can tell your friends, hey, I want to do this. So the first one we're going to talk about, a few of these are going to be out in Western Maryland. If you take 70 turns into 64, and 64 goes out west towards McHenry, which is the end of the state, and Oakland. And that's going to be our first one. It's called the Shallow Falls State Park. It's an excellent campground. It's excellent for hiking and has all these main waterfalls. But there is a hidden waterfall off the beaten path that I think you're going to want to see. It's great, and it's tucked away for the perfect adventurers and hikers like you alike. Okay, so the next one we're going to talk about is the Enchanted Forest. Oh, do I remember the Enchanted Forest? They used to take field trips there when I was a kid. My parents took me out there. It is an abandoned, or was an abandoned, fairy tale like park out in Ellicott City, right off of Business 40. So going out 70, 40 in Ellicott City. Right now, what's still left of it is the old stone gateway to it, and there's actually a shopping center where it used to sit. Back in the heyday, though, it was all these big, like a Swan, Jonah the Whale, like based on Alice in Wonderland, like the Humpty Dumpty and stuff like that. So it was based on those characters. Now, if you're lucky, while you're going around Maryland, people actually bought these statues and they put them in their yards, they put them on their farms. So every so often, if you're driving around, you might see this like gigantic concrete pumpkin. And this is an old thing from the Enchanted Forest, and there's a picture here somewhere of me in short pants sitting inside Jonah Whale. So that's number 2. And I used to love that place, but unfortunately they abandoned it back in the early, probably the mid 80s, 90s. All right, so the next one, which is located near Enchanted Forest, Ellicott City, just south of Ellicott City there in Howard County, is the Hell House Attar. Am I saying it right? Attar. Anyway, this place is just south. It used to be, so when the settlers came in, Ellicott City was known for taking these big amounts of grain in, and the Catholic Church made a church called St. Mary's, and St. Mary's then put this attar in the middle of the woods. And the fun part about that is it's all been closed down. St. Mary's is gone now because they closed it down because they said the preacher was having inappropriate relationships with some of the students there, but the attar is still there. Okay, and what I understand about the whole situation is you go and you sit on this attar, and here's a picture here and a picture here. Kind of looks spooky, right? And you sit on the attar, and it gives you this great feeling of dread. Now, I've also heard that it's haunted, and people have seen, shadowy figures and that sort of thing. But people are also filled with such dread about the place that people tell you that there's definitely a strange feeling about the place. I mean, just beyond all the conversations and all the stories and that, there's definitely something strange about that place. Which brings us to the next one, is the Siding Hill Road Cut. Okay, so going out 70 towards Western Maryland, if you're going to go towards Muddy Creek, there's a big cutaway in the highway when you go through, and there's also a rest area called Siding Hill, and you can take there's like a ramp that goes up to the side of this. And what's neat about the Siding Hill cutaway, is that you can see 350 years back into the past through the geological stacking of the mountainside. You can see all this stuff, and it's really, really a cool spot. All right, bringing us to the next one is a place that's really close to where I live. It's called the Jericho Hidden Covered Bridge. You can see in this picture here, red covered bridge. Now, we have other covered bridges here in Harford County, but this one in particular is right near Kingsville, or is actually in Kingsville, Maryland. I know this because you can go down, it's called Jerusalem Mill, that's the name of the road, and you go down there and they got all these older like 18th century houses. They got the bridge. A lot of people go down there and get their pictures taken at this bridge with professional photographers. My family went down there and got a picture taken. But what is really scary is that you can drive through the bridge, and I've heard people tell tales about how their car stalls, about how while they're sitting there and they're sitting on the bridge to go through, handprints magically appear on the windshield or on the windows beside fogged up. People have said they have seen a strange girl with kind of like a burnt up face carrying flowers. It's been told that Civil War soldiers actually committed suicide around the area, so maybe this is why it's so haunted. I don't know, you tell me. So it brings us to the next one, the Grotto Caverns. Again, going out 70 towards the west, it's in Boonesboro, and it is absolutely amazing. You can see a picture here, and you can see like the stalactites and all that stuff. It's the only underground cave system here in Maryland, and the way it was created is, remember the cutaway? When they were creating the highways, they were dynamiting all this stuff, and it just so happens they were going through this guy's farm, and when they dynamited it, blew open a side to this cavern, and then the guy, of course, it's on the guy's property, and it's been there for 100 years, and now all of a sudden it's like a major tourist attraction for the Grotto Caves. I got a couple extra ones here, just talking about hauntings and haunted houses and stuff like that. So here in Harford County, when I was a kid, I did a book report on the hauntings of Harford County. I did mention the Jericho Bridge. There was also another one that's up here in Jarrettsville. There's an old 1800 outpost, 1800 house, where evidently the Confederate soldiers went in to restore or heal their wounded, and there was a soldier standing guard on the front of the house. And of course, during wartime, they all got shot. But they say, and this house is still there, and I think it's Granary is what it was. The Civil War soldier is still standing there. On occasion, you can see him. I don't know if that's true or not. And then while we're here, because I was doing that book report, there was another spot. Gettysburg is known, and that's in Pennsylvania, not Maryland, but real short trip to Gettysburg. And it's called, it's called Gettysburg State College, and it is the Pennsylvania Hall. Now, what is miraculous about this story is that this hall was the hospital during the Gettysburg War, and they're bringing all the wounded soldiers in there. And it has been told that real late at night, the elevator will take you down to the basement floor, where it opens up the elevator doors, and there's like a hospital scene of the bandaged girls bandaging Civil War soldiers, screaming, and people in agony. That's been said. Kind of eerie, right? Which brings us to the number one tourist attraction, I would say, or hidden gem inside Maryland. Did you ever hear about that movie, Blair Witch Project? Okay, the one by Eduardo Sanchez and Daniel Myrick, excuse me. So Burkittsville, which is about 8 miles south of Frederick. So if you go out 70 and you hit 15 south about 8 miles, it's called Burkittsville. Okay, and that is where the sighting of the Blair Witch Project and the movie. Once upon a time, I used to do independent movies, and I've done a lot of like other things through, serious acting stuff. And I actually met Eduardo Sanchez, and I actually met Daniel. And of course, during that meeting, because everybody, it's kind of a close knit community. I asked him, I says, "You sold that movie for $5 million, right?" And this was like the launch of reality TV, and needless to say, reality TV, and the idea behind Blair Witch was the kids had gone through with a handy cam and were recording all this stuff, and it was supposedly, the rumor was that some tourist or somebody like us was hiking throughout the trail, and they found the recordings of this stuff, and they thought it was real. And so that was the premise. It was a reality TV show, reality film that was being filmed. And of course, that is another hidden gem here. And that leaves us to the last one. That would be the hidden graveyards in the Patapsco State Park. Kind of eerie, right? Been told people see ghosts, and you can see from the pictures that I'm showing you that the old headstones out in the middle of nowhere, out in the middle of this park. And there's some, like, those are the hidden gems of Maryland, and kind of eerie. Definitely a hiker's paradise that I think if you're here and you're into hiking and going to see the waterfalls, there's It's Maryland. We're one of the original 13 colonies. Of course, there's going to be a lot of history here, and there's going to be a lot of like stories and whispers in the middle of the night about ghost here and something going on here, and you know, the showing up here, and mysterious, eerie stuff, right? But it sure is a fun time to come over. When you come over, you can go take a look at these little things. It's a fun thing for your family. I think with the Shallow Falls, I read a story where the husband had surprised the wife, and you know how husbands are when they suggest a trip, but she was, you know, she was delighted with the waterfalls. So there you have it, folks. Those are the hidden gems. I'm John Ruckman. You know what? I do get a lot of phone calls from folks just like you that are asking me about Maryland and where to live, like Harford County or Baltimore County, and I absolutely love me. So if you reach out day, night, not 12 o'clock at night, but if you reach out through text message, phone calls, and emails, I'll be more than happy to help you out there. And yeah, we'll catch you on the next video. Peace.